Talking to my buddy Jonah Coleman today about just flight school. We're kind of celebrating. We just
We'll have to check the space station.
got out of the abusive camping trip, taking a breather. Just gonna kind of walk through like all the stuff that I went through, but somebody who's not a decrepit old man that needed a bunch of waivers and stuff.
Yeah, so I'm from an aviation unit.
Yeah. You're guard also, right?
Yep, I'm in the guard. So the SIFT test, I did 3 weeks. I studied for 3 weeks pretty hard. And I was working construction at that time. I was the lead carpenter at a job site with this company, actually, Brester, back home.
So you would put in a full day on the site and then come home and hit the books?
Pretty much,
yeah.
Yeah, I got a SIFT study guide on Amazon.
Yeah.
2 pages, I remember.
Trivium, maybe?
Yep, Trivium.
Yeah, that's what I had.
Yep. Yeah, so I would go through 20 pages a night, like just back and forth, and I did that for 3 weeks. So I went through it a couple times. Yeah, I scored okay. Got like a 62. Nothing crazy.
I mean, I beat you by a point, but
You're better than me. But yeah, it was good. It was the hardest test I took for sure.
yeah. What was your GT score?
I think it was like I don't know. It was 140 something.
Well, mine was okay. So the minimum's 110,
Yeah,
and yours was 140.
I think mine was
They
140.
should send you to be like an astronaut.
No. What's the max? 190?
Dude, I don't know.
Took mine. So I've only been in the guard for almost 3 years now. I enlisted in August of 2021, and then I shipped off to I was supposed to go to basic in February of 2022, but I kept talking to my recruiter, if there's ever an opening, because I hated construction.
Yeah.
I love the company I worked for. I love the people
Sure.
at that company. It's a great company. The guy, a lot of veterans there. The owner's a Christian man. Chris Brester is his name. He's a good dude, man. But it was hard work, and I'm not a pansy by any means, but dude, it sucked. So I enlisted, and then I went to basic in November of 2021. And dude, I missed. So you're supposed to report to MEPS like that Saturday.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I spaced it, and I missed it. So literally, I got a text from, I saw him first class. It wasn't my recruiter. He was like, dude, you need to get to the MEPS in like an hour. And I was home. I was playing like Fortnite or something, or GTA, or I can't remember, Rocket League, something. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, I literally threw my toothbrush, a towel, civilian clothes, in a bag. And I was like, all right, I'm going to MEPS. Love you guys. See you later. It was out the door, and I had to it was an hour and 10-minute drive, and he said be there in an hour, so I made it.
Yeah.
And I literally got there, got on the bus, and left to the airport.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So that was your ship day.
Yeah.
Dude.
But
That wasn't like, I'm going to get my medical. That was like,
it was time to
you're
go.
going to basic training. Where'd you go to basic?
Fort Jackson. Relax in Jackson.
Where's that?
South Carolina.
Okay.
And then I went to AIT in Fort Eustis, Virginia. I was a 15 uniform, CH-47, helicopter repair.
Okay, so when you say 15 uniform, to me that just means like it's within the 15 Tango, or like they're all 15s are aviation, right? 1-5 is aviation designation.
Yeah, so 15 Tango's a Black Hawk repair mechanic.
Okay, but not a air crew.
Nope, they can be so usually the Tangos, the uniforms, are the only two. Not the only two. I want to say they're the only two that can become a crew chief. Actually, I don't think you can be a crew. Maybe you can. I'm not sure about 160th guys. Every crew chief I've met was either a Tango or a uniform, but that actually flew on the bird.
But you're a uniform, and that's specific to the
47.
47.
Chinook, yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I did that. That AIT is kind of lengthy. The school is like 4 months, but there's whole times.
Yeah.
Just like it is here.
Yeah.
But the guard usually gets pushed through. So I was there for I think 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, I met a bunch of guys I still talk to today in AIT. It's not so much basic, but definitely AIT.
Yeah. Dude, some of my best, like, one dude I still talk to this day was a guy I went through, like, the Marine Corps' version of AIT. We were down in Pensacola. And
P-Cola, baby.
Long time ago, but yeah.
Yep. And then I graduated AIT. You go home, and then you have like a patching ceremony.
What's that entail?
It's
I've never been a part of that.
literally just it's I don't even know, dude. It's go up, and then you go there, and you put your patch on, and it's like a ceremony.
And they're like, welcome.
Yep, and it's cool. Welcome, Colonel. I shook Colonel's hand there, and then I met my readiness NCO. He's a good dude, man. He's like the guy we met at the gym the other day throwing the ball, just stacked.
What was his name? Logan.
Yeah, Logan.
Apache pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy was squatting like
355.
making us look bad.
Yeah. Well, we're fresh out.
Fresh out of the camping trip. So
really weak.
Down a couple pounds.
Just a few.
So, to bring that kind of full circle, though, I'm sorry for hopping around, but like, how were you like, I just want to be aircrew, or were you always like, I want to be a pilot? If so, why did you want to fly? That kind of thing. Like, my story is that my grandfather, they used to build kit planes, him and all his buddies, and we'd go to air shows and stuff like that. Like, what was your kind of connection to aviation?
Yeah, so high school I wanted to be a cop, and then quickly realized I didn't want to be a cop.
Well, why'd you realize? I've heard some of these stories. What'd you do in that realm?
Dude, honestly, so this is a crazy story. I haven't even told. I think I've told you this one, maybe. I was a delivery driver for Good Sense. I played high school baseball, and I had a girlfriend at the time, and I was driving delivery for Good Sense. And I'm pulling out, and this dude's on a little cross rocket, like the mini bikes, with the lights off. It's pitch black on the street, and I'm just cruising, dude. I don't even remember. Just dropped off a sandwich. Pulling out, dude. As I cut this guy off, and so he gets out. This dude he had a rap sheet. He was crackhead, but gets out. I'm rolling my window down, and I'm wearing my hat, like my Good Sense hat, you know. Roll down the window. Hey man, really sorry about that. Boom, slugs me. Knocks the hat off. I was an alien. A $110, no, $140 at 6'4", and anyway, this dude he tuned me up, and I got out finally after like 2 punches, and then I tried to chase him off, but he ran away once he saw I was 7 inches taller than him. And the cops, I ended up talking to the cops, and when I was talking to him, I was like, this sucks. This job would suck. You're dealing with a high schooler, and then an idiot. And then my dad was in aviation for a while. And I knew I wanted to be a pilot after that. And then just never worked out, really. I did year college baseball, got hurt snowboarding. Then I signed up for the ATP flight school in Broomfield, Colorado, and that was the year COVID hit when I was working at the ski resort.
Did that get canceled, the flight school?
Yep.
So what drew you to the Army?
Trying to get my pilot's license through that program, the $4,000, the $4,000 allowance you get for flying.
So somebody told you about that, or what?
I was looking it up, yeah. And
just online?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I figured it out. I can't remember where I looked it up. And then I talked to a recruiter. Well, first it was a Marine recruiter I wanted to...
Tell that story.
Oh, gosh. Well, first I went to the Air Force, and I was like, hey, I want to fly jets. I want to be a fighter pilot. And the guy was like, you're too tall, which
You're a pilot?
Too tall, sir.
Yeah, I can see that.
You call, we haul.
Can I speak a minute, Crandall?
Al.
Safe.
apparently I'm not. I don't know. The guy was... Who knows? Yeah, so then he told me I was too tall and I could fly like cargo, and I was like, oh, that's boring.
Remember one thing. You screw up just this much, you'll be flying a cargo plane full of rubber dog shit out of Hong Kong.
And then I went to the Marines, and I was like, hey, you know, what's going on? And the guy was a complete douche. And they know you're a prior Marine. But he basically, long story short, he was like, yeah, you don't have what it takes here. Like the first thing he said to me.
And you weren't like the chip on the shoulder guy. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't that guy. I was like, oh, okay.
You were smart enough to be like, nah.
So I was like, oh, okay. All right, well, I guess I don't have what it takes. He was like, well, here's a shirt. You know, you'll be back. I was like, okay. Took the shirt.
Yeah.
Went home, and then a couple months passed, and I was like, I'm still working construction, doing nothing with my life. And I want, you know, you have that motivation. You want to be successful. And then talked to the Army National Guard, and my recruiter was legit.
Yeah.
She said, you know, if you want to be a pilot, go be a 15 Tango or 15 uniform.
So we talked about the SIFT and kind of prepping for that, and so that's when you started building the packet.
Yeah.
And you were working with, for anybody that wonders, this is kind of like one of the big hang-ups that I find is you don't know where to look to talk to somebody, but like it sounds like you had that warrant officer who helped you put your stuff together. I had mine. Mine was a CW2. For you, I assume, like, they looked at your packet, said, yeah, he's good. I mean, do you have some LORs? Like, talk about your LORs and what you had and how'd you get them?
Yeah, so after the patching ceremony, like 2 months later, you go to your first drill. At least I did. And literally my first drill, because I knew I wanted to be a pilot, I talked to the guys. You know, and you learned about being a warrant and AIT. But I talked to a CW2 as well, who's a very good friend to this day. But I talked to him like my first drill as a private.
Yeah.
I was like, hey sir, you know, I want to be a pilot. What do I need to do? And he kind of walked me through it. And then we have another warrant. She was a W1. She's a CW2 now, but at the time she was a W1, and she was just like that. But that was for the Army, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Maybe she did other branches, but she put my packet together. I just did the stuff, and she did it. And dude,
was she aviation or was she a different branch?
She was a walking warrant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was a 420 Alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
Which is like HR, pretty
Those
much.
folks know their stuff.
Yeah,
There's
every piece of paper.
I've always gotten real hung up on like having to pay your dues and stuff like that. Obviously, Jonah was just like, "Hey, I want to do this. I feel like I'm competent enough and ready," and he just approached the leadership, and they were receptive to that request, I guess is all I'm trying to say. So like, if you're like me, don't do this with gray hair. Don't be as bashful as I was, and just go out there and kind of signal to people that you want to go do that. As he eats grapes in my ear. Yeah, that's not picking it up.
That's what she said. Ha! I don't get it. Grapes, seductive?
So then you're bored. You got your LORs. People were receptive to you talking to them. What was your interview like? Did you prepare at all for that? Like I talk about, I would rehearse questions. I didn't trust myself to talk through an interview. I feel like if I'm on the other side of the table, I can tell within like 2 minutes if this person has put in any kind of time or prep into an interview. Did you do anything like that? Or did you just walk in?
They didn't give us. So I was at AT when all the boards were going on.
Yeah.
I didn't do a board in person.
Okay.
The only board I did one board in person, and it was like it was the final board. And then that day you get promoted to E5 or a walk. But we had there was 2 boards. One of them was like the initial one, and it was kind of like the yay or nay. Mm-hmm. And then you'd have a second one that you had to get a yay on.
Okay. So they kind of whittled down the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my state sent 4 aviators this year, and all but one are here right now.
Do you know how many people may have been going for it?
Yeah, originally they said like there was like 30 warrant packets.
Well, I was just curious, like how many were aviators? Because I know that when I was out in the hallway for our board, I know that there was like 10 people, and they picked 1. But that was only one board for like the beginning of the fiscal year, and they were gonna have more. So, just kind of curious. I think people wonder about your odds of being selected.
Well, what I would say is I was, like I said, I was a private. And literally my first drill, like I talked to the commander about dropping a packet. Like the dude didn't know me. And the funny thing about this is I have a roommate. He's in vacation right now.
Yeah, weight loss vacation.
But he's a firefighter because the commander was a firefighter as well. And it's just a small world, but
That's like one of the biggest things in life, if you're younger, is your relationships. So it's the way of the world. It probably shouldn't be that way to some extent, like kind of who you know, who knows you, all that. But it's the way the world works. So you have to know people, you have to know the right people, and you have to also be a high performer or somebody who can back up their aspirations. So you have to have both of those working in tandem at the same time to kind of have anything like this happen for you. So great example of it for sure. All right, so then we met at Walks.
yeah, phase 2.
Yeah, and that was cool to meet you. You were on probation.
Walks is a game. Don't stress it. You got to apply yourself though, because you don't want to be a dirtbag. I was not, but Walks is great training.
Yeah,
and it matured me tenfold. And literally, my first brief I ever was in Walks.
Yeah.
The first brief I ever gave was in Walks.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
that's
a lot.
that's
if you're young.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. So that's good stuff. And I've said this before, but I was the S3 the whole time of mine, and that pushed me outside of my comfort zone and helped me grow. But then, so like, all that's done, and then basically your unit was like, hey, here's your date for Fort Navi. It's a beautiful thing, man. So we came down, been at it ever since. Dude, I love it down here.
Oh man, best time of my life, easily.
I mean, I was thinking about this like literally this morning. We haven't touched flight controls yet, and for anybody that's, you know, a pilot or whatever that might watch this and like be like creeping and be like, what are these losers doing? These boots, you know?
Eating grapes.
for anybody that's been through this, I mean, we haven't even touched the controls yet and done just straight up like grunt work, basically.
Yeah.
Busy work, grunt work, you know, SEER is a heavy lift, all that stuff. Still, really, really great place to be. And the beach is basically an hour and 15 minutes away. It's February, so it should be the coldest time of the year right now.
It's probably 75
It's
right now.
gorgeous outside.
I have a family. Sorry.
That's good. No, please. Oh.
You haven't been there, you'll know.
Yeah. I think in general, the real questions and concerns that people have are just the process for getting here. Then once you get here, it's like, yeah, I got it.
It is a dream here. Seriously, it is a dream.
Yeah,
you can't beat it.
I don't want to be... I've told people this, I'm like a Labrador when it comes to all this stuff because I'm a little bit further down the road, but I'm basically a boot, so I have that years of perspective, but I'm also brand new, so I have that like naive positivity, motivation, all that, and coupled with basically I'm just really grateful to be here because I've seen a lot of stuff. And I echo that 1,000%. Not trying to be cheesy about it, but it is totally worth any of the effort that you have to put in and all the stuff that we've gone through since late November to get where we're at here in February.
Yeah.
Getting ready to wiggle the sticks. Did I miss anything, dude, that you wanted to talk about?
I mean, if you want to be a pilot, then the best route to go is Warrant. I think for sure.
Yeah.
Because you're going to fly more.
Yeah.
And if you're watching this, you probably already know that.
Jonah and I have known each other since September. We pinned W1 at the same time. And don't do this with gray hair. Be this guy.
You can do it with gray hair.
You could do it with gray hair, but it's way easier to be this guy and just pull the trigger a little bit earlier.
You didn't miss out if you didn't go street to seat. Because you're pretty much street to seat. You know,
Yeah.
You were in the Marine, you did deploy, but in the Army, you've been in less than I have. And, but
Yeah,
with
you don't have
him,
to flex on me, but yeah.
well, I'm just saying, this guy here, everyone looks up to him, even though, whatever. But
Even though they shouldn't.
if you're enlisted and even if you're a private, you can do it.
Yeah.
You just literally put your mind to it and you can do anything. If I can do it,
Yeah.
you hear that all the time. If I can do it, you can do it.
No, it's true.
It's true.
Yeah,
You really can.
it's true. It's not above you. You should feel like it's accessible. And
Mm.
even if you just want to do the walking warrant thing, like if you're an E4 right now, you should be thinking about dropping your packet
Yeah.
to go be a warrant officer. It walks is not that bad. It's a little bit of time. You got to swallow your ego for 5 seconds, and then you're done, and it's immediately worth it. There's something in the military, in the Army, where it's like, I'm too cool to care, and I'm just gonna act disgruntled all the time, and I don't buy into that for a second. That kind of cultural stuff drives me nuts, and I don't like it, and I think it ruins a lot of people's lives.
Well, you should never-
Try to stay away from that attitude and those people, honestly.
It's an attitude thing, and I never understood it too.
A lot of it is like, if you don't invest yourself emotionally, you can't get hurt. So if I pretend I don't care, then I won't be hurt. But
And you should care.
I'm okay with getting hurt a little bit, Hurt me, baby.
Hurt me. I have a family. Do it, and it is a dream here.
It's good.
I mean, seriously. There's Pensacola, there's Destin, there's Panama City. If you're young, get after it. And if you have a family, it's good too. He's got a family. Your family loves it here.
Yeah, we couldn't be happier.
I could not be happier.
That's all I got, man. You good?
I'm good, brother.
All right. Was it everything you'd hoped it'd be?
Yeah, I've been begging Mike to let me hop on his YouTube channel. Just please.
20 people that watch, please like the video. And sharp minds, smooth hands. See you on the next one.